Coffee Break Swedish, Season 1, Lesson 21. Hej och välkomna till Coffee Break Swedish. Jag heter Mark.
Och jag heter Hanna.
Hur mår du, Hanna?
Jag mår bra, Mark. But it's such a long time since we saw each other.
It is. Now, hang on. I know how to say that in Swedish. We learned this way back in lesson 11, I think. Could I say det var länge sedan?
Ja, perfect. It sounds like you have practiced your Swedish since I saw you last.
Well, we've had a little opportunity to do some review in between lessons 20 and 21. We have been both very busy getting things organised for other projects, so we're now delighted to be back in the studio to record at lesson 21 onwards. However, in the meantime, we've also enjoyed our Kulturhörnan with Lovisa. What do you think of all these episodes, Hanna?
Oh, I really enjoyed them, and I really enjoyed hearing about Swedish Christmas. It was nice.
And particularly in a year when you it wasn't possible to get back to Sweden over that time.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a bit of having Sweden here for me.
Excellent. Well, today, what are we talking about?
Well, I thought we have sunny weather here in Glasgow, so I thought we would talk about weather.
That sounds like a good idea. Det låter jättebra. Ska vi börja?
Ja, låt oss börja.
I pressed the wrong button there and we got the long jingle, but I'm sure our listeners won't mind. Okay, so let's start talking about the weather. Take it away.
Okay, so I thought I would start with a question and see if you understand what I'm saying, Mark. So the question is, vad är det för väder idag?
Kan du repetera?
Vad är det för väder idag?
Okay, I'm hearing in there väder, and you did say we were talking about the weather, so I'm guessing you're asking about the weather.
Vad är det för väder idag?
Okay, is that like saying what is it for weather today?
Yes, good.
Right, so vad är det för väder idag? Vad är det för väder idag?
Yes, and the fur is kind of what kind of weather today. So,
did we use this before when we were talking about phone numbers? What was the expression, what is your phone number?
Yes, vad har du för telefonnummer?
Right, so it's a similar construction. Vad har du för telefonnummer and vad är det för väder idag? What is it for weather? What's the weather like today? Okay.
Yeah, bra.
Now, the weather... where's the definite article in there? Because väder doesn't sound like it has an N or an et on the end.
No, so väder is a net word. And if we have it in definite form, we say vädret.
Vädret. Is that one of these words where the E disappears?
Exactly. So because we have in väder, we have E before the R, but we put it on the ET there, so it would just sound too many E's if we don't drop one.
Okay, so vädret sounds funny, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so vädret, the weather, and väder, weather. Vad är det för väder idag?
Yes, and I guess you want to be able to answer that as well.
Yeah, so let's look at some answers.
Okay, so we do very simple. We just say det är.
It is. Det är.
And then is the question what weather it is. So we can say fint väder.
Okay, fint väder. Would that be fine weather?
Yeah. And the opposite, dåligt väder.
Dåligt väder. That would be bad weather, I'm guessing.
Ja, precis. So that's the simple one. Very kind of Glaswegian weather, bad or good. And if we're going to get it more into the finer details of weather, we have soligt.
Soligt, I'm guessing sol in there is the sun, so soligt would be sunny.
Ja, bra.
Okay, soligt.
Varmt.
Varmt. Warm?
Ja. And the opposite, kallt.
Okay, kallt must be cold then.
And I think we get a little bit more difficult now. Molnigt.
Molnigt.
Bra, molnigt.
What does that mean?
Moln is a cloud. So if you put the ikt on there, then it's cloudy.
Can you say that again?
Molnigt.
Molnigt. So how do you spell that?
Molnigt.
Right, so there's a GT at the end. Can you say it one more time?
Molnigt.
Right. See, sometimes it sounds as if you're pronouncing the G like a K in there, and sometimes it sounds like it's silent.
I think I pronounce it with the G sometimes just to make it clearer to you. But if I speak quickly, I just drop it. So it's almost like it's spelled like an IT, molnigt.
Molnigt. And so does the same go for solikt and dåligt?
Precis.
Right. So you might hear dåligt väder and soligt.
Yes.
Okay. So we had molnigt, cloudy.
Ja. And the last one is mulet.
Mulet. What would that be?
Well, is overcast is when it's just a bit grey.
A grey. Okay, that's very common here. Okay, mulet. Mulet?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we go through each of these in turn and just to review them, and we'll use the det ad as well. So we'll go through each one. I'll say the English and you can say the Swedish. We'll leave some space for our listeners to repeat. So first of all, it is fine weather.
Det är fint väder.
It is bad weather.
Det är dåligt väder.
It is sunny.
Det är soligt.
It's warm.
Det är varmt.
It's cold.
Det är kallt.
It's cloudy.
Det är molnigt.
And it's grey or overcast.
Det är mulet.
Okay, so far we've just had it is and then a description, so an adjective in most cases there. And one thing I've noticed is all of those words end in T. Is that because these are describing the it word that is vädret?
It's more about that when we talk about things in general and say it is, if you remember. We use det, we use the et form.
Right.
And then the adjective will be the T on the end.
Right, okay. Okay, that makes sense. What about other kinds of weathers where, like, for example, it's snowing or it's raining, where something is happening, as it were, rather than just a description?
Yes, we just need to use new verbs instead. So, det regnar.
I'm guessing that means it's raining?
Ja.
Let's hear it again.
Det regnar.
Det regnar.
Ja, bra.
Okay, it's that tricky sound again. we've heard it so many times.
See how you feel about this one. Det snöar.
There must be an sound in there, yeah.
Yes, you missed them, haven't you?
Det snöar. It's snowing?
Ja, it's snowing. Det snöar. Det blåser.
Oh, I have no idea what that is.
I know, it's strange because we have the same word for as English for wind, and it's vind in Swedish, but when the wind is blowing, is det blåser.
So does that literally mean it's blowing?
Yes, that's what it means, blåser, and it's just implied that we know we're talking about the wind.
The wind is blowing. Okay, it's blowing. So we had det regnar, det snöar, det blåser. Anything else?
Yeah. And the most important thing that never happens in Glasgow, solen skiner.
Ooh. The sun is shining?
Ja, jättebra.
Solen skiner. I missed my sh sounds as well.
But you said it perfect there. Skiner.
Okay, that all makes sense. We'll take those 4 verb forms one more time and see how we got on with them. So again, I'll say the English, Hannah, you say the Swedish. So it is raining.
Det regnar.
It is snowing.
Det snöar.
It's windy or it is blowing.
Det blåser.
And the sun is shining.
Solen skiner.
Jättebra. Okay, we're going to take a short break there and then we'll be back to talk a little more about the weather.
All the Coffee Break Swedish podcast episodes are free, but did you know there's a full online course available?
We offer video versions of the lessons where you see the words and phrases on the screen of your device. There are lesson notes providing further information and additional vocabulary, and a bonus audio episode for every lesson.
To find out more about our online course, go to coffeebreakswedish.com.
Welcome back. We're talking about the weather today. In fact, we can see what is the weather like today. What's that, Hannah?
Vad är det för väder idag?
Vad är det för väder idag? But perhaps it might make more sense if we are getting the opportunity to travel to Sweden or to Swedish-speaking Finland. We might want to ask what the weather's going to be like tomorrow so that we can make our plans for our travel arrangements.
Yes, so if you wonder what weather it is tomorrow, you will ask, vad blir det för väder imorgon?
Okay, Hannah, can we slow that down, please?
Vad blir det för väder imorgon?
Right. So two things changed there, I think. First of all, we got idag, and that becomes imorgon.
Mm-hmm.
But then you change your verb as well. It's not vad är det. What did you say?
Blir.
Right. Now, blir is, I think, a word that we've come across before. Is it a word that you would use when you're giving a price for something? Like if someone gives you the price of your meal, for example, altogether?
Ja, precis. So when somebody says what a price is, they can say det blir 72 kronor. Do you recognize that?
So yeah, it like that makes in total 72 kronor.
Ja, so blir is like becomes.
Okay, right. So you're saying what is the weather becoming tomorrow?
Ja, precis.
So what was it? Vad blir det för väder imorgon?
Precis. Vad blir det för väder imorgon?
Right. How do we answer that then?
So you will say det kommer att vara kallt.
Right. Why can't we just use blir?
Yes, you can. You can say det blir kallt, but the most common way of saying it, which we say on weather reports and things, is we're using the verb kommer att. So det kommer att vara kallt imorgon.
Now, I know the verb kommer because I think we've learned jag kommer ifrån Skottland.
Ja, precis.
So it means to come.
Yes, but if we use kommer att and then we have another verb, we talk about the future. So we are talking about the weather, what is going to happen in the future.
Right. So it's kind of like saying it comes to be.
Yes.
Right. So you said det kommer att vara kallt. So could I say det kommer att vara molnigt?
Ja, precis. Det kommer att vara molnigt.
It's going to be cloudy or it will be cloudy imorgon, tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you give me another example?
Det kommer att vara fint väder imorgon.
Okay, it's going to be nice weather tomorrow.
Ja. Det kommer att vara dåligt väder imorgon.
It's going to be bad weather tomorrow. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. So those are ones with vara. It's going to be because that's replacing the det är.
Ja, precis.
What about the other verbs?
Det kommer att, and then you just put the verb in, so det kommer att regna imorgon.
Regna. So this is like the infinitive here. We've got det regnar, it's raining, and then you're talking about now att regna.
Ja, so if you have a sentence with two verbs in it, the second one needs to be most of the time an A on the end.
Right. Okay, so det kommer att regna. It's going to rain.
Ja, och det kommer att snöa.
It's going to snow, okay. Can I try the wind one? Det kommer att blåsa.
Perfect. And what about the sun will shine?
Oh, det kommer att skina.
Well, we need, I guess, the sun here is the subject. So solen kommer att skina imorgon.
I'm just talking about general shininess, obviously.
Yeah.
So solen kommer att skina.
Perfect.
Okay. Could we just run through those 4 or 5 sentences then? A couple of det kommer att and then maybe a couple of the more complex verb ones. So I'll say the English again, you say the Swedish. It is going to be good weather tomorrow.
Det kommer att vara fint väder imorgon.
It's going to be bad weather tomorrow.
Det kommer att vara dåligt väder imorgon.
It's going to be cloudy tonight. Could we say that?
Ja, absolut. Det kommer att vara molnigt ikväll.
Okay, so this evening ikväll. Okay. And what about it's going to rain tomorrow?
Det kommer att regna imorgon.
What about it's going to snow on Saturday?
First of all, what is Saturday?
Lördag.
Ja, så det kommer att snöa på lördag.
Det kommer att snö på lördag. Right, one last one. The sun is going to shine next week.
Solen kommer att skina nästa vecka.
I like that one.
You are very hopeful living in Scotland thinking it's going to shine for the whole week.
Så solen kommer att skina nästa veckan.
Nästa vecka.
Nästa vecka. Okay, sorry. Nästa vecka. Right. Can I ask you, this kommer att, is it only used for weather or do we use it for other things too?
Kommer att is quite interesting and no, we don't only use it for weather. However, kommer att means that is something that we can't control, is inevitable. So we have to be careful of using it in other ways.
Okay,
Does
could
that
you
make
give me,
sense?
yeah, I think so. Could you give me an example?
Yeah, so for example, you can use it as, quite often we can use it to reassure people. So if I say, det kommer att bli bra.
All right, so it will be fine. Things are going to be fine.
Yes. Or another example, if you getting your ears pierced and they said, this will hurt, then they will say, det kommer att göra ont.
So what was that? Göra ont?
Det kommer att göra, so göra is to do.
Okay, and then ont?
It will hurt. So ont means hurt. And I think we're going to speak about it in the next lesson when we talk about aches and pains of it.
Oh, right. We'll leave it there then, okay?
Yeah. But it's things that we as individuals can't have an impact on. So I guess an example is that jag kommer att fylla 40 nästa år. I'm gonna turn 40 next year. So we're all going to get older. That is not something you can change. So then we use jag kommer.
Okay. I'm guessing there probably is another way to form the future, but I think probably it's out with the scope of this lesson, should I suggest?
one verb at the time, Mark.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, what I think we should do now is put all of this into practice. And I've asked Hannah to come up with some weather forecasts, some short weather forecasts based on some of the words and phrases that we've learned. So, Hannah, can you start with number 1, please?
I Stockholm snöar det idag och det är kallt.
Okay, say that again.
I Stockholm snöar det idag och det är kallt.
Right, so there I think you're saying in Stockholm it's snowing today and it is cold.
Ja, jättebra.
Okay.
Nummer 2. Det regnar och snöar lite i Örebro, men solen skiner i Uppsala.
Okej, en gång till.
Det regnar och snöar lite i Örebro, men solen skiner i Uppsala.
Right, so I think there you're saying it is raining and snowing a little in Örebro. Lovisa won't be very happy. Men solen skiner i Uppsala, but the sun is shining in Uppsala.
Ja, jättebra.
Okej.
Nummer 3. Det kommer att regna och blåsa i Helsingfors.
Okej, kan du repetera?
Det kommer att regna och blåsa i Helsingfors.
Okay, so again, we're leaving some time for our listeners to think about this. Helsingfors is Helsinki, isn't it?
Ja, so
Okay.
all the Finnish places have Swedish names.
Okay, so it is this like saying it's going to rain and be windy in Helsinki?
Ja, perfekt, jättebra.
Det kommer att regna och blåsa i Helsingfors.
Ja.
Okej, nummer 4.
Nummer 4. I Umeå är det mulet och kallt och det kommer att snöa.
Kan du repetera?
I Umeå är det mulet och kallt och det kommer att snöa.
Okay, in Umeå it is cloudy and cold.
Nästan. Mulet, do you remember?
Oh, that's great.
Cloud is molnigt.
Yeah, I was getting those two mixed up. So in Umeå it's cloudy and cold, and then I think you said och det kommer att snöa, and it's going to snow.
Yes, perfekt, bra. Och den sista, nummer 5. Det är vackert väder i Malmö, men det kommer att regna.
Okay, this is a new word. Vackert väder. I think we've come across vackert before. It is nice. Like, is it pretty? Does vacker mean pretty?
Yes, well done.
I don't know where I'm picking that one up from. I'm sure we've come across it before in a previous lesson. But det är vackert väder i Malmö. So it's nice weather in Malmö. Men det kommer att regna. But it's going to rain.
Ja, perfekt.
Jättebra. Well, I hope that you found that as useful as I did. A good review of some of this weather vocabulary. Now, in our bonus episode this week, we are going to be looking at more weather phrases, and we've got a longer and more challenging weather forecast, the kind of thing that you might hear on the radio or on the TV, and that's going to help us test our understanding of weather vocabulary a little more. And all of that is in the bonus episode, which is part of the premium version of Coffee Break Swedish. You can find our full course over at the Coffee Break Academy, and we provide video versions of each lesson notes with further examples and explanations, and this bonus episode. So you'll be able to use the bonus episode to improve your Swedish knowledge further. For all of this, head to coffeebreakacademy.com.
And you can find us on Facebook. Just search for Coffee Break Swedish, and we post regular content to help you build up your culture knowledge of all things Swedish.
And we're going to be posting a question on Facebook this week asking you what the weather is like where you are, in your town, your city, your country. So make sure you practice your weather vocabulary there. Hanna, tack så mycket. As ever, how would I say thank you as always?
Som alltid.
Like alltid. We've heard that. That's always, isn't it?
Ja, precis.
Så tack så mycket, som alltid.
Varsågod, Mark.
Och vi ses snart.
Vi ses.
You have been listening to a Coffee Break Languages production for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2021 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2021 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.